It starts by shifting the way you think about your email list. You shouldn't treat it as a number to grow. You should treat it as an audience you're responsible for. Before you optimize subject lines, designs, automations, make sure you're sending to people who genuinely want to hear from you. Because a healthy list makes every other optimization move meaningful, and you're measuring real engagement, not just noise.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this e-commerce marketing focused podcast. If you're not familiar with our format, we release 5-episode mini-series that dive deep into one e-commerce marketing topic. It could be channels like email or SEO or Facebook ads, or a big topic like acquisition, retention, or analytics. In each episode, new ones released on Wednesdays, I get to interview a different expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you. And then after each 5-episode mini-series, we take a week off to give you time to take action on what you've learned. At the moment, we are deep in the world of email marketing. We've had a few episodes all about what you send. In this episode, we're going to do more of like a who you send. We're talking deliverability, but probably not a part of deliverability you've heard about before. This is about cleaning your list by sense checking it against databases of bad email data. It's a little bit more complicated than that, and our guest will be doing a really, really good job of explaining it in straightforward, concise ways. We'll be talking about why you should care about this. We'll be talking about the types of cleaning you should be doing. And we'll be talking about the 3 key parts of your email marketing activity where you need to deploy this strategy. Our guest also has some very cool top tips as well, so make sure you listen to the end. I think it would be impossible to be in e-commerce and not have heard of Klaviyo. Over 193,000 brands in over 80 countries use Klaviyo to drive their email marketing, SMS campaigns, and sales performance. The way Klaviyo are incorporating AI and personalization across the platform is one to watch for all of us, enabling their users to really push ever upwards the performance of their customer communications. If you want to see what you can now get with the Klaviyo platform, maybe have a poke around to work out if it's yet time to migrate, then you can sign up for a free trial right now. Just head to keepopt.com/Klaviyo and find out if it's time for you to make the move.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
In this episode, I'm chatting with email marketing expert Nina de la Cruz. Nina is one of the team at Get Control, an on-site engagement and email marketing platform used by thousands of e-commerce brands worldwide. Hello, Nina.
Hi, Chloe. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome to have you on the show. So thank you so much for putting forward this very cool topic. Before we get into it, though, how did you get into the world of email marketing?
I came into the world of email marketing and particularly the topic of deliverability through my content marketing role. I've spent the last several years creating educational content for e-commerce marketers and brand owners, lately mostly around email. And one thing I noticed over and over again is that there are a lot of conversations about creating a really catchy subject line or picking the perfect sending time and email designs that drive clicks. But when I spend my hours weekly on Reddit sourcing real life stories about the challenges that e-commerce brands are facing every day, there are so many stories with deliverability, with the struggles with deliverability. And when I started digging deeper, what I realized is that a lot of conversations around deliverability are more technical. People think that this is something your IT department should handle. This is all about authentication. But the truth is, marketers are so much more in control here. And this is why I like this topic. It's one of those rare areas where a relatively small change can have a meaningful impact. And I'm excited to talk about it here today.
I mean, it is kind of mad how easy, when you start looking at email deliverability, you can get yourself completely confused with DMARCs and SPFs and all sorts of domain side stuff, which obviously is important. But as I'm sure we're going to be talking about, it's a lot less important than a lot of other things we could be doing.
Absolutely. Yes. Starting 2024, when Gmail and Yahoo implemented new, stricter guidelines for senders and especially bulk senders, all these authentication and the technical setup aren't just best practice. They are mandatory. And the issue is often not with the technical setup. It's with the health of your email list.
Oh, completely. So let's get into why it is we should be cleaning our list before we send it. First off, why? Why do we care? Why is this something we should be doing?
I can think of 3 reasons why it's crucial to clean your email lists. Number 1, from the practical standpoint, you don't want to send email campaigns to invalid contacts or contacts who aren't interested in your emails. Number 2, most email marketing platforms charge you based on the size of your list. So you are literally paying for contacts that aren't interested in your content anymore, or invalid contacts if you've never cleaned your list. And number 3, the most important part, is that a large segment of disengaged or invalid contacts damage your sender reputation in the long run. It has a huge negative impact on your deliverability.
I know we always mention cost as a good reason to be cleaning your list, but it's so much less important in my mind than the other 2.
Absolutely.
The sender reputation and engagement from your list is just so much more important than the cost. I mean, the cost, obviously, it adds up over time and it's worth doing it. But the real value is in getting more emails into the inbox.
Certainly. And then there is another consequence that we often forget about. Your analytics becomes less reliable when your email list contains contacts who aren't engaged. And if a significant portion of your email list is ignoring your emails, deleting them without even opening, it becomes much harder to judge whether a campaign performed well or poorly. You can spend hours optimizing your copy and design, but the underlying issue is in the audience quality. And what you end up with is that the poor quality list makes you question every next marketing decision about your email marketing campaigns.
It's like building on a shaky foundation, isn't it? It's like everything is, it might just be the list. It might just be the list. It might just be the list. It's like, that you can't move forwards. I think that's such a good point to add into the mix. So when we're cleaning the list, what sort of things are we trying to get rid of?
There are normally 2 steps to clean an email list thoroughly that I recommend. The first stage would be pre-cleaning. That involves the process of checking the quality of your email list using domain intelligence and pattern signals. And pre-cleaning stage helps you identify risky email addresses that would include disposable, throwaway addresses, the hide my email addresses, role-based addresses, mistyped domains, invalid domains, things like that. So after the pre-cleaning stage, ideally, you should be able to see what your database actually looks like, what the quality of your list is, and identify the contacts you really don't want on your list. You don't want to send your campaigns to these contacts because they will not add to the performance of your campaign. And the second stage usually involves SMTP verification. That's a more precise, a deeper, usually paid procedure that you would use paid tools for that will help you understand whether the email addresses on your list are valid and actually able to receive emails.
I personally find it fascinating in this space that it used to be that list cleaning was about identifying emails that were no longer being used, that the email platforms, Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, etc., may have grabbed in order to monitor bad behavior to help improve what they let in and what they let out. You know, if they know this customer of theirs hasn't logged in 10 years and people are still emailing it, they know they're not such responsible senders. So it can damage your sender reputation that way. But now it's kind of like it's become consumer behavior protection as well from those, I'll sign up to this list, but I just want the one reply that comes. So I'll get a single use email address, and helping you clear out all of that, which of course isn't going to work for you as well. So I love that kind of like two-pronged side of it. We're cleaning up the stuff that's has the potential to damage our sender reputation, but we're also cleaning out the stuff of the people who had no interest in hearing from us in the first place.
Absolutely. They have no interest. They have no intention to stay in touch with your brand, to hear more from you. So this relationship was over before you sent your first campaign. They probably signed up for a lead magnet or a discount, and they used this throwaway address that they're never going to log into again. And then there's another part, Chloe, that I wanted to mention, that list cleaning is something that should also be a part of your ongoing email program. And I'm talking about re-engagement campaigns.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about when we do this, because I think that's one of the things which is right. Okay, great. So we've got our list. We want to tidy it up before we start sending, or before we send to it anymore. There's that question of, when do you actually do the tidying up? You know, is this something we have to run our whole list through a checker every week? Or do we just run our new signups through a checker and then we do it occasionally? Obviously, you just mentioned re-engagement campaigns as well. What for you are the key moments where we should be checking our list?
That's a great question, because I think sometimes e-commerce brands start thinking about this too late, when deliverability problems are already there and a little harder to fix. So 3 moments when you should think about the quality of your list and check it thoroughly. Number 1, when you are migrating from one email marketing platform to another. So when you're exporting your email list and importing it to a new account, you should always pre-clean it. You should always run a quality check. And not only because of all the reasons we've talked about already, but because there are a lot of email marketing platforms that will pause your campaign, that will suspend your account even before you send your first newsletter if your list displays signs of risky email addresses on it. So you want to make sure that when you're migrating, when you're changing platforms, you are confident in the quality of your list. That's number 1. The second moment, if you are growing your email list aggressively, especially through giveaways, through partnerships, through lead magnet campaigns, and you understand that a lot of people who will join your list might be using disposable addresses, you don't want to include all of them to your list right away. You want to run pre-cleaning and remove the addresses that are unlikely to engage with your future campaigns. And the third moment that is crucial, and I'm seeing it over and over again with e-commerce brands, is when someone decides to re-engage a huge dormant segment of audience all at once, overnight. So you can think about it from the mailbox provider perspective. Let's say there are thousands of subscribers who haven't heard from you for months or maybe a year, and you want to reach them all with your new offer, with new arrivals, with the Black Friday promo after being silent. From the perspective of a mailbox provider, that looks like a campaign going to a large audience who doesn't really want to hear from you or is unlikely to engage with your emails. So this is another moment to pre-clean, to check your list and make sure you are sending emails only to real subscribers who were engaged previously, and you do it gradually.
I think all three of those are such great times to be doing this. But to get into the re-engagement one, it's like I know a lot of brands mail various people less when they're outside of key buying seasons. It's like, how simple is it to go, right, here's the group we're about to try and get interested in Black Friday who we've ignored for a few months. First, let's clean the list. Secondly, let's not send to them all on the same day. It's like, it's so simple, but it can protect your reputation. Because if you do that, if you get that wrong, then all your emails, even from those people you've been emailing weekly or more regularly than that and who have been buying loads, even those won't get delivered as well if you get the reactivation wrong.
And this is one of the biggest problems. You need to understand that mailbox providers are continuously evaluating your campaigns. Each campaign creates some sort of a reputation scorecard that you are evaluated against. And each campaign affects the next one. So if you damage your reputation, your sender reputation, even people who want to hear from you, who are looking forward to receiving your emails, might not hear from you because of all those disengaged contacts you've been blasting.
And then your point about the second one about when to check about aggressive list growth, I think that's such a good thing to be doing, because if you're doing a big aggressive program, be it a big shiny lead magnet or a major prize giveaway or something to grow your list, we all know not all that data is going to be worth gathering. So we're monitoring the performance, and the lifetime value of the customers that come out of it, and all these kind of good things, time to purchase, amount purchased, yada yada yada. But then to also be going, not just let's focus on the good that comes out of it, but let's remove the bad that comes out of it, I think is such a good move as well. And I would certainly with those lists, not just be filtering the data, checking the data before we really start sending to it. I'd also be really closely monitoring the engagement levels of that data and being a bit harsher than normal on who we stop bothering to send to. Would you agree with that, Nina?
I couldn't agree more, Chloe. And it's not really just an opinion or the best practice. If you look at the sender guidelines by Google or Yahoo, they encourage senders to remove disengaged contacts on a regular basis. And that means that mailbox providers expect this from responsible senders. It's something that will probably become a norm, and I believe that engagement signals will matter much more in the near future.
Yeah, I think it's basic good list hygiene. It just delivers in so many ways. And nowadays you can automate it so easily. It's not, God, it used to be a nightmare trying to do this 5-6 years ago, but now it's so much easier. There really is no excuse for keeping your data nice and clean. Nina, is there anything we've missed about pre-send list cleaning that the audience need to know about?
I think it's important to mention that the textbook idea of growing your email list is when you have an email sign-up pop-up on your website, or maybe you collect emails at checkout. But the reality is so much messier sometimes. I've seen e-commerce brands collecting emails through various channels, and that includes offline events, trade shows, and pop-up events. That includes separate sign-up forms on social media. That includes partnerships, again, giveaways. So each of these channels has its own challenges, starting from typos to disposable email addresses. And you need to take into consideration the ways that contacts end in your email list before you start the analysis, before you add them to the list and to your campaigns.
Yeah, great advice there again, Nina. Thank you. So, everybody, Nina, it's been great picking your brains about email list pre-cleaning. Listeners, make sure you stay tuned right to the end so you don't miss out on Nina's insider tips on email marketing and my suggestions for more free resources to help you improve things even further in your business. I think it would be impossible to be in e-commerce and not have heard of Klaviyo. Over 193,000 brands in over 80 countries use Klaviyo to drive their email marketing, SMS campaigns, and sales performance. The way Klaviyo are incorporating AI and personalization across the platform is one to watch for all of us, enabling their users to really push ever upwards the performance of their customer communications. If you want to see what you can now get with the Klaviyo platform, maybe have a poke around to work out if it's yet time to migrate, then you can sign up for a free trial right now. Just head to keepopt.com/Klaviyo and find out if it's time for you to make the move.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Okay, Nina, so far we've gone deep into email list pre-cleaning. And now you get to wow us with your insider knowledge about the whole of email marketing. So for the following questions, your answer can be anything to do with email marketing, which of course does include everything we've already been talking about. Nina, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, let's start with newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
I'd start by shifting the way you think about your email list. You shouldn't treat it as a number to grow. You should treat it as an audience you're responsible for. Before you optimize subject lines, designs, automations, make sure you're sending to people who genuinely want to hear from you. Because a healthy list makes every other optimization move meaningful, and you're measuring real engagement, not just noise.
Nice, like it. Okay, once you've started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favorite way to improve performance?
My favorite way to keep optimizing is automating whatever you can. So in this case, you want to automate the way contacts enter your email list by adding double opt-in, by adding reCAPTCHA and preventing bots and typos from getting to your list in the first place. And the second step would be setting up an automated re-engagement workflow. It serves both to rekindle relationship with dormant subscribers and also clean your list by removing those who lost interest in your brand. If you think about it, disengaged subscribers are a very early warning sign that you should pay attention to. And if you notice that that segment is growing, it's usually telling you something about your email program before your overall performance drops.
Nicely put. Now, if someone listening wants to learn more, is there one cheap or free resource you would recommend?
First of all, I'd like to recommend subscribing to Keep Optimizing podcast.
Oh, thank you.
It's quite a treasure trove. I'm a fan. Number two, of course, Google's Postmaster tools. It's absolutely free and it helps you understand how Gmail sees your sender reputation. And number three is the Email Quality Checker by Getsi Control. It's a free tool that helps you upload up to 50,000 contacts and analyze the quality of your list by identifying risky addresses without using SMTP verification. In other words, you'll have a list of addresses that seem to be disposable, throw away masked relay, mistyped domains, invalid domains. So the contacts that you don't really want to have on your list.
Top tips there. And I'd almost forgotten about Google Postmaster tools as well. So I'm clearly going to be logging into that straight after this to check up on ours. Finally, Nina, crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
I think we're moving toward a world where mailbox providers will start caring more about engagement signals. Of course, it's always mattered, but I think it's going to become an even stronger predictor of your sender reputation. And that means marketers will need to spend less time asking how I can reach more people and start asking questions like, who should receive this campaign and how exactly can I encourage engagement?
I think you're right. I mean, it's the trajectory we've been on for a while, and I completely agree. I think we're going to get... it's going to become ever more important to be tidying up that back end of the list and the front end of the list as well, as you've outlined. Nina, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're nearly at the end. So could you please let the listeners know where they can find you and your business?
So if you'd like to connect, I'm happy to connect over on LinkedIn. My name is Nina de la Cruz. And if today's conversation made you curious about the health of your email list, at Getsi Control, we've built a free email quality checker. You can upload your list and quickly spot things like disposable email addresses, role-based inboxes, relay email addresses, and other potential risky addresses. It also assigns quality scores to all contacts, so you can build segments based on the potential value. It's totally free, and it's an easy way to understand what your database actually looks like.
Nina, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being on the Keep Optimizing podcast and for so clearly explaining such an important part of our email marketing mix to us. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Nina.
Thank you so much, Chloe. It was a pleasure talking to you, and keep optimizing.
So if you aren't already keeping your list tidy, both in terms of measuring the engagement levels within your list and doing those external cleaning tasks, which I highly, highly recommend should be a part of your usual email activity, then it's time to do it, because it could, so if something goes wrong, it could affect the deliverability of all your emails, but also it's increasingly important to keep your emails effective, the deliverability good, getting into the inbox, getting the response rates you want, and everything else. You can get the links to the things we discussed, the full transcript of the episode, our notes and more at keepoptimizing.com. You can also use our special direct to episode short links. Just put keepopt.com/the number of the episode into the URL bar and you will go straight to the right page of the site. When you get there, why not add yourself to our email list and grab our latest ebook whilst you're doing it? Go on, you know you want to. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, then check out episode 227, a little while ago, where we get deep into privacy strategies with Siobhan Solberg, because I think in many ways it builds on this. It's all about list quality and clarity with your audience, but through the lens of good legal privacy strategies as well. It's a lot easier listening than I've made it sound, but I think you'll like that one. You can also find our full thread of email marketing content by scrolling up your feed or using the short link keepopt.com/email. Please do tell your fellow marketers about the show, because I want to help as many marketers as possible to improve the performance of their e-commerce marketing. Have a great week and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.
Time to migrate to Klaviyo? Keepopt.com/Klaviyo for your free trial.
On the under $3 menu at McDonald's, a McChicken is $1.50. Because when you're craving a McChicken, you deserve a McChicken. And now that McChicken is just $1.50 with McValue.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.